Alright, here's the video. I'm not sure why. I've done a similar video over the years, but here's the one a bit more explicit, so it does contain adult content. So if you're a bit sensitive to adult content and things that go on behind closed doors, maybe click off the video now. In late October 2015, I was a victim of a sexual assault. Now, some of my feminist friends that I've talked to about this have confided with it. They've said, Harley, you were raped by Hannah Lobb. And I don't know, their angle is that I didn't consent, but I also didn't say no. And in their eyes, that's rape. So did Hannah Lobb rape me? Even though it was very aggressive what she did to me, I don't feel that it was rape. Sexual assault, yes. Did I consent? No. But it wasn't like she put a knife to my throat, so it's like, but that's my feminist friends say you were raped. I don't feel like a rape victim. Sexual assault victim? Yeah, I was sore the next day for sure. There's no doubt about it. I did have injuries to my groin, etc. Let's get how did that start, and why I'm making this video now, because Hannah has uploaded. She's got her boyfriend, who she was with at the time, and she cheated on him to sleep with me. His name is Michael Hebo, and he has a channel called Just type in Norwegian, and you'll see he's uploaded over 130 videos. About me, etc. And he also got a website about me, etc. So I guess this video is a rebuttal. So maybe if you've got some friends who are like, hey, do you follow Durianrider? What's going on here? This is a video you can share with him. So Hannah Lobb, aka Hannah Chloe, she goes by a few aliases. Hannah Lobb, she works at a company called Our Botanicals, which is like an online herbal website, and so she works for them. So if maybe there's other victims out there in a similar situation, I don't know. But I'm just sharing my story for the guys out there and women out there who can maybe relate or just who want the truth or whatever. One of the biggest things straight away before I forget, if you're ever in a room with someone and you have any doubt, always get your phone and just hit the record button and just put it somewhere. All right. So you always, if I didn't do that, that saved me many times. All right? So always do a recording. Because that's illegal. Well, yes, it is. Depends what country you're in. But record screenshots like I did. Do voice recordings like I did. Some people even do video stuff. That's not a bad idea. Because you never know what someone might try and spin around at a later date. All right? So anyway, Hannah, she worked as a sex worker in Thailand, doing phone sex stuff, which I got no problem with at all. She's quite a sexual woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's sort of got a strong sexual appetite. She listed at the time. She had been with myself and a few of my friends, my vegan cyclist male friends, in Chiang, Thailand. And it's sort of like, as a man, when a woman sexually assaults you, you sort of, it's not something you can go to the police about. Nor would I go to the police about that. For me, it was like, I had physical injury. My pelvis was so sore the next day, I sort of missed out on the time trial. I had testicular, what would you even call it? Vacuuming or from the mouth or whatever. Just, it was quite sore. And, so I did have physical injuries. Again, it wasn't sort of traumatic for me, but it was definitely painful. So, it would be defined as sexual assault. And I didn't consent to it. I didn't say no because I thought it would stop, but it just got more and more intense. So it was sort of, I guess, being a cyclist, being a runner, you sort of used to pain a little bit. So you sort of go along with it. Anyway, so Hannah she was working as a sex worker in Chiang Mai illegally. And, she was, came to Thailand. She got me for coaching. She wanted to be a YouTube star. And I'll show you a few emails through here that we'd had correspondence after we had sex that night. She was very friendly and sort of didn't really think much to her. She wasn't aggressive in text and anything like that. So how it happens is, we've been friends for over a year. She's always quite flirty, and I had a girlfriend at the time. But then in October 2015, I'd broken up. We'd split up with my long-term partner there as freely. She can all verify this is all to be true as well if you ask her. There's plenty of screenshots and videos out there as well to confirm the story. And so, Hannah was just, super flirty, and I was in Chiang Mai by myself. and does a bit of graphic design work as well on the side. And I said, hey, if you could do a design for me for my ebook and my YouTube banner, I can give you your ebook a shout out. Win-win. She's like, oh my god, that's fantastic. So, and I said, how about we meet at the restaurant called Taste from Heaven, which is a vegan Thailand restaurant. And she's like, oh, we can meet at your place. I said, okay, we can meet at mine. And I said, what time? She was like, oh, let's do it late. I said, okay. And I didn't really think anything of it. And she came over, and there was strong vibes, and I was like, okay. And I was just like, she was really putting it on. And so I didn't want to feel like rejecting her or whatever. That's the sort of person I am. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but that's what I did. And I said to her, did you want to kiss me? Like, you seem like you got something in your mind. She's like, oh, I'm thinking about it, but you were freely and stuff. So actually we'd broken up. She's like, oh no, really? I said, yeah. And she's like, oh, and she's just, you see in her head, she was just like, even thinking even more like she was going to become the next Freely Banana girl. And then so she was really just, strong. I don't know if you've been with, many women, guys, if you're watching, it's different for me, not to sound arrogant, but when you got status in the community and you got money and you build careers for people, then, women are attracted to that, and so are men. So this just changed the whole vibe. Something just clicked, and I know she'd have been having some mental health issues. I'm not sure if she started getting all grandiose and stuff and thinking that, I was going to be a boyfriend and stuff like that, even though she had Michael Hebo on the board at the time, aka Norwegian in Norway. And anyway, so she was like, oh, what about Freely? I said, oh, it's all good. And then nothing happens, and then we just did some work, and then walked her out to her bicycle, chit-chatting. I think it was like 2 a.m. or something, and nothing happened. And then the next day, she's like, oh, I've got some, do you want to meet up again tonight? I said, yeah, we can meet at the restaurant. We'll meet at mine. She said, no, we'll meet at yours again. It's okay. So she came over this time. She was very dressed, very, very sexually. She's had a breast augmentation surgery, which is fine, but she's very pronounced cleavage in a halter neck top. She came over the next night and back to my hotel room, and it was quite late again. And straight away, the vibe was this time it wasn't here to work. It was here for sex, basically. And I felt that, and I was like, oh, geez, this is getting a bit too intense at the time. And then we started making out on the sofa, and I sat down on the sofa, and she sat down next to me, and just it went on from there. And then she got off me and pulled my pants down and put my girth in her how would you let me say that on YouTube? But I started giving me oral sex, and quite aggressively, and then she's like, I've got my period, I need to have a shower. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I just, me being me, would it do whatever, go have a shower, whatever, doesn't mean I'm gonna have sex. And so she went and had a shower, and then she comes out naked, and it's like, okay. She's like, we should lay in the bed. And I said, oh, okay. And so this is where I guess I'm sort of consenting, but not to sex, just to making out. And then she basically was on top of me, sort of getting me, aroused. And, and that's when she sort of basically was a bit of a, what would you call it, like BJJ, where she just sort of like, sucked me up and flipped me over and got me on my back and just started, violently just slamming my pelvis. And it was quite a, I was a bit like, okay, this is going on forward real quick, and this is getting quite intense. And so yeah, that carried on for quite a while. And then she said to me, this is the first time I've come via penetration. Can I come back to Adelaide with you, etc.? And I was like, oh, this is what have I done here? I've unleashed a beast. And so I felt a bit guilty for inviting her back to my hotel room the second night. Maybe I gave her the green light by saying, did you want to kiss me? So I felt really bad that I'd sort of led her on and given her the green light to something that I didn't really want, but I went along with because I felt guilty, if that makes sense. So that's why when my friends said that, I was raped by her, that she knew exactly what she was doing, she was just trying to become the next Freely Banana girl, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can see that element. And that's probably true, but, it's a bit of a grey area. I wasn't jogging down the path and Hannah came at me with a weapon and said, Harley, do this or do that. So that didn't happen at all. It was what I just explained down in the hotel room. So, yeah, and she didn't, There was no condom involved, so I got a few days later I got a STD test, and luckily I was fine. But it just happened real quick and very aggressively, and it was I'd never actually been in a situation like that before, so I didn't really know what to do. I sort of froze a bit, but being a guy, you sort of like you're like, what do I do? What's a guy's job to do here? So anyway, that's the deal. That's the truth. What happened was a little bit embarrassing. Guys can be raped and guys can be sexually assaulted as well. That's just the reality of it. And this is probably the only video on YouTube mentioning it, but I thought I'd do it anyway. If I might be the laughing stock for some people out there. They might think I'm a beta. I might end up on Isaac Butterfield again. Vegan boy gets raped. Whatever. That's just, I thought I'd definitely share my story. And especially since some of the aggressive rumors are out there saying otherwise or whatever. So I just wanted to share my story, and I'd testify in court for that. No worries. Would I put police charges on Hannah? No, I wouldn't, because it's like, even though I have witnesses, I have evidence, etc., and so does she. She had told her friends, Tony Ann and Johnny, and also Johnny and Michelle. They were two Kiwi couples, and another guy called Tanner who was staying at Hannah's apartment block just a few kilometers away from my hotel at the time. So they were witness to what Hannah had told her as well. I also gave her a bicycle pump that night as I was leaving Chiang Mai soon. So I said, I'm leaving Chiang Mai, would you like this bicycle pump? I left in the next days or two. Felt 3 or 4, can't exactly remember, my passport will confirm. And then also Hannah she made me give her a hickey as well, which she did quite aggressively. And I was like, okay, I'll give you a hickey. I didn't really feel like I had a choice in the moment. And then the next day she put that hickey on YouTube, as a bit of a, what does someone say? They called it a notch, some sort of like I don't know what they use a Kiwi slang term for it. Some things Kiwi women do or something like that, I don't know. But that's the deal. What else can I say about it? It was an experience. Did I have any ongoing permanent injury, physical injury? No, I didn't. Was I sore for a few days? Yeah. Definitely some testicular bruising, some pelvic bruising. So yeah, but nothing too major. Anyway, that's the truth. That's the deal. What do you think? Do I get raped? Is it sexual assault? What's your thoughts? That's Hannah Lobb from Our Botanicals. So yeah. Also, I want to say, I just remembered, I want to forgive Hannah. I don't hold any hate towards her. I think a big secret in life is to have empathy with people. So if you're a victim of something like I have been, you can stay in a victim mentality and that can eat you up. You can have hate for people and anger. So I always like to empathize with someone. If you're a victim of something, then ask, what made this person do that? There's a lot of damaged people out there. So with Hannah, I don't think that she had, initially bad intentions. I know that Hannah, you were very hard up for money. You basically had nothing. You were doing sex work that you told me you didn't enjoy. You wanted to make it big on YouTube, but you also had your dad who didn't want you to be, doing sexy thumbnails, etc. So you sort of had that conflict, but you wanted to be the next Frilly Banana Girl, and you even said that to myself before we'd ever hooked up. And so I can understand that I maybe have led you on thinking that you're going to become the next Frilly Banana Girl. So maybe that triggered your sexually aggressiveness towards me and the forcefulness and the domination, etc. I can understand that now. That's why I don't have any hate. I don't like that you told your boyfriend other stories. That's pretty low, but I do forgive you, because in life, it's about having a himsa, and a himsa is, doing no violence, doing good when you can. And everybody makes mistakes. So, Hannah made a mistake. I made a mistake by letting her back into my hotel room the second night. I didn't want her as a girlfriend. Not that, just not my type. Not that she was a bad person at the time, but I knew we weren't going to be compatible with that. But as a friend, and she was helping me out with the book cover, no worries. So I learned as well. So I'm partly to blame. And, that's the thing. But I think a lot of people out there who are victims, everyone's going to be a victim at some point in life or something. And so it depends what identity you want to have. If you want to become a victim for life, or you want to look at it in a bigger picture, move on, forgive, don't necessarily forget, learn from mistakes and learn from situations, avoid putting yourself back in that situation again. I will never be a victim of sexual assault again because I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I'd understand what's happening. But, that's just me. That's living. I'm 42, almost 43 in August this year. So you live and you learn. So Hannah, I don't have any hard feelings toward you, no hate. If you did a public apology, that would be fantastic. Probably for your reputation, it would be good and people forgive you. I won't hold my breath on that, but I'd forgive you and I don't hold any grudges. Thank you.